I had a different session planned for tonight is the point that I'm making. A completely different session. I was on this dog walk with, I was going to say Keegan then, with the dog. And then I got this feeling to take him home and to drive to another nature spot near mine, which I just love going to. However, so this nature spot that I used to go to used to be a shithole, right? And nobody went there, which is why I loved it, because I was just alone in nature. And now they've opened a cafe, which means loads of people are going there. And I know I don't own the nature resort, but I kind of do, because I shown up when there was nothing. I was a loyal one. Now there's cafes there, there's loads of people, you can't even get a parking space. Oh, it's just awful. But anyway, the point to the story is, I decided to go for a nice walk. Then I lay down on the grass, because it was dead sunny. It still is a little bit sunny actually, even though it's like 8 o'clock at night, what the hell. And I fell asleep. It must have been about 20 minutes. And then when I was just lay there, I was like, oh my god, I need to talk about this subject. Like, I actually need to tell them all about this subject. So loads of things started coming through then, and it's a little bit like where I've been recently on my journey. And then just a few messages from conversations that I'm having with some of yous, and just different energies coming through, which I just want to go through. So let me check the chat box. Hi babes, feeling really sorry for myself today at 36, having to scrape coins for milk and bread. I hear you, sister, I hear you. I feel like I dedicate my life to this work, solitude, of making positive, consistent choices, waiting, and nothing ever shows up. Hard to swallow, and that's exactly why you are where you are, because you're waiting. You're waiting in a lack energy for it to come. You're going to be waiting forever, because remember, the universe is always a yes. So I'm waiting for that thing to come in, and the universe is like, yeah, just wait. And you're like, yeah, I'm waiting, and the universe is like, yeah, just wait, just stay where you are and just wait. And that's what's happening. So whatever you're waiting for, you need to be in it now. You need to come out of this reality, which is no money. I don't like my job. I'm stressed. I'm unhappy. There's always bills. Every time money comes in, it leaves. All of that, this reality that you're in, which you've created, by the way. And you need to feel into the reality that you want. And then create the feeling. That's how it comes. Like, this delusional, like the way people talk about it negatively, like, stop being delusional. No, be fucking delusional. Don't accept this 3D reality for what it is. Live from the end. Neville Goddard teaches that beautifully. Go and listen to some of his podcasts, Kim. You'll love it. I'll put some in the group chat actually for you. Living from the end is already being in it now. So if you had that money in your bank account, the money that you're calling in, you wouldn't be waiting, would you? You wouldn't be in this waiting energy. So you've written there, I'm doing all of the work, I dedicate my life to it, the work, the solitude, the making positive, consistent choices, waiting, and nothing ever shows up. So if you was living from the end and you was already in that life of living it, you wouldn't be sat around waiting, you wouldn't be even writing sentences like that, would you? Do you understand what I mean? So play the game. Like, use your imagination, tap into the feeling. What is it that you want? And feel into it. Be it now. Be her now. Have it now. Live from the end. And check in with that energy. Like, if the universe is always a yes, what is it that I'm asking for? What is it that I'm getting given? So if you're constantly in worry and lack and, oh my God, another letter through the door, another bill, another outgoing. Every time I get money, I always get something comes along and I have to pay out for something else, and now I've got a flat tire, and now my MOT is due, and that's just failed, and now my tax bill, and na. And then you're in that, the universe is like, yeah, more please. Yeah, you want more? Yeah, because the universe doesn't understand what's good and bad. That's non-existence. The universe is neutral. So the universe will give you more of the energy that you're in, that you're already giving out. So just check in with that. Like, really check yourself where you're at in your life. Hi Ash, my darling, lovely to have you here. Don't panic, it's a picture of me under the sprinkler in the garden. No one has been harmed. Fuck off, Fab, for God's sake. Oh, funny. So does that make sense? And don't worry, here's my advice, right? Don't worry. So what you've written there about scraping coins for milk and bread, don't get fixated on that. It's not going to be your life forever. Do you know what I mean? Like, if you're open to infinite possibilities, which you should be because you're in this membership, so you should be open, completely open, every day to receiving, all the time, every single moment of the day. So right now, you've got 59p in your bank. Where tomorrow, like you said to me before on that voice note, that someone has an Airbnb and they employ you to clean it sometimes, but they've had no work on, blah, 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 blah. Whatever your situation is, I'm talking to all of yous now. You've got 59p in your bank account right now, but what if that Airbnb sends you an email right after this masterclass and they're like, oh, I've got 6 jobs on this week. I'm absolutely chocker, can you help out? And then you've just got all that income out of nowhere. That's what we say. It's out of nowhere. It's out of thin air. No, you're vibrationally aligned with it. You're in frequency with it because you're not talking like that. You're not sitting here feeling sorry for yourself, being like, oh my God, I can't even afford the milk and the bread. Do you think that's what I done when I couldn't afford the milk and the bread? I didn't accept my reality for what it is. I told a story. I was always open to receiving. I was always open to this not always being how it is. And then detach. Like, stop making it mean something and just really check in with your vibration and your feelings and your thoughts. And I really want to talk tonight about thoughts and the power of our thoughts and the fact that everything in our life is because of a thought. Like, your situation now, Kim, is because of your thinking. And the more that we choose to stay there and we stay in those thoughts of the lack and the needing more and I need this and I need that. No. God doesn't like us being in need. Ever. And the more that we're in that frequency of need, we'll stay there. Everything's a want. Always. And feel how lighter that feels in your body. So what I want to talk to you tonight is about the difference between listening to your soul and listening to your body. That's what I want to really dive into tonight, because I've really just upped my game in a practice that I want to teach all of you tonight. And I've only been doing it for about 3 weeks. So I'm very new to it, but it's fucking working. Like, it's working like a dream. So I want to teach it all to all of you. So the difference between the mind and the soul, right? That's where we're going to go. So what the soul wants and what the mind and the body wants, they're two different things. So a good example to think of is food. So the body and the mind wants the junk food. It wants the low vibrational food. Like, you know, if you eat that pack of Oreos in the moment, you're going to love it and it's going to taste so good, because they do. Like, I fucking love an Oreo. However, your soul knows this is very low vibrational, this is too much sugar, this is low energy, this is going to make us feel like shit. Like, all we're going to want to do after we eat this whole pack of Oreos is sit on the couch and do nothing. Or we're just going to want to lie in bed. Or whatever the situation is, whatever food. So it's really having this connection of being able to go deeper, go past the mind. And this is honestly why I created this membership, with all of the breathwork sessions, all of the meditations, all of the practices, every week, the way that we consistently show up together. And if you've got questions, or we've even got the group chat, that you can be like, oh, I need help with this, I feel like shit about this, It's that accountability piece, because this work is consistent. Like, you're consistently showing up for yourself, but in the moments, not just on a Sunday for these sessions. And I really want you, after this session, because I'm going to plant a few little seeds for you, I really want you girls, and please have your journals and be making notes here as well, to be more aware with how you live your life day to day, in every moment. And where you're out of alignment, I'm really checking in with that. Where do you make things in your life mean something about you? That's a question that I've been asking myself lately. Like, what am I making this mean about me? And really feel into where you're giving your power away. Where you're not listening to you. Where you're not listening to your own intuition. So somebody asked me a question inside of the membership and said, like, I'm doing the work, I'm doing these sessions, she's in another group program, and she just finds it really hard to listen to her intuition. And then she went on to say, so then I said about it's through the only way, right? This is like the only answer that anyone should ever be giving you. The way to listen to your intuition is by coming out of the noise, by going within. It's not anything out there. It's not even the spiritual practices. It's not in the journaling. It's not in the meditation. It's not in the music. It's got to be in the stillness and the silence. Yes, your spiritual practice will help with it. But ultimately, to access that God within, you've got to be in complete stillness, in complete silence, just you. Detaching from all of the noise. So then I had that conversation with her, and then she went on to say, but how do I trust what's being said? Like, how do I know? And how many of you do that? Like, comment in the chat box if you ever do that, where you'll meditate on something, you'll ask a question, you'll sit with yourself, you'll feel into yourself, you'll get out in nature and go even deeper with it, but then you'll question it. Because you're questioning, is this real? Is this right? And this is where the mind and the soul go into a battle. Because the mind wants the answers. The mind wants to know, what are we doing? Where are we going? What's next? The mind wants to be in the known. The logical mind wants logical answers. Where the soul is just free. And the answer feels so light and freeing. And there's no answers to come with it. None. There's no direct path. You are completely in the unknown. You don't know whether that's right. You don't know whether that's wrong. And this is why, and this is what I believe to be true about all of you inside of this membership. And I don't care when you're watching this. If you're watching it, this is what I believe to be true about you. You're different. You're different. You know there's something within you that knows there's more. There's more than this 9 to 5. There's more than just working your ass off to just have one holiday a year, to ask for permission to go and see your kids' school play, to have to get fined for taking your kids out of school and all of that. Like, then you get the mortgage, and then you're paying the mortgage off, and then you have this marriage and you aren't even happy, but you're together for 20, 30 years, and then you retire, and then, like, you know inside of yourself there's more, and I want it. I don't know what it is, because you might not know. You might be watching this and like, I don't actually know. You don't need to know. You just know inside of yourself that there's more. You know that you're different to other people. Because if I sat you down with somebody who isn't doing this work, who isn't interested in the personal development, who isn't interested in growth and evolving and really stepping into their purpose, you would realise just by being in that person's energy how different you are. That's the feeling, that's the knowing of the soul. That's where you're being asked to tap into every single day. every single day you need to be accessing that part of you and getting to know it on a deeper level. And listen, it takes courage. It takes courage living an intuitive life. Because the logical mind will say, no, I've got it figured out here. Like, I've got a good income, I've got a salon, I've got a training academy, I've got all the clients, like, I've got my house, I've got my car to pay, like, everything's very comfortable. This is it for me. I'm here. And the soul's like, this isn't us. This isn't us. We need to get the fuck out of here. It's how I felt. Like, I ignored that voice. Meditation after meditation, walk after walk, day after day, so much that the voice started screaming at me. That's how uncomfortable I felt. To the point, like, I would pull up at my salon in the last about 2 weeks of having it, where I would feel sick, I'd feel anxious. I hated wearing scrubs, and I used to sell them for a living. I used to work with a company who I used to work alongside them. I was a brand ambassador for them. So I had all these scrubs. I was constantly like, and I got to the point on my journey when I'd see the scrubs in the wardrobe. Scrubs are a uniform, by the way, if anyone's like, what the fuck are you on about? There was my uniform for aesthetics. And I felt sick putting it on. I didn't know in that moment, if I shut everything down and walked away from everything, my intuition, listen to me now when I say this because it's very, very important, my intuition never said to me once, if you walk away from all of this, if you leave now, if you shut everything down, refund all them students their money back, walk away and don't look back, everything's going to work out for you. You're going to go and do this, and then you're going to do this, and then you're going to sign this client, and then you're going to get this idea, and then you're going to start a membership, then you're going to start doing online coaching, and then you're going to help. I didn't get one of those answers, not one. I didn't have a clue. I did not know what I was doing. I did not have any answers from when I shut that salon to what I was doing next. All I knew was that knowing that there's more. There's more inside of me that I need to, like, it wasn't even a want at this part of my journey, it was a need. I need to follow this feeling. I can't suppress it anymore. I have to go after it, and I have to figure it out. And that's where my level of trust came in to me. And this is the message that I want to give all of you, because I feel, and I could be wrong, but this is how I feel about all of you. I feel that you're outsourcing your answers, which are within. So not once did I go and ask me mum, oh mum, I'm in this stage in my life and I feel like I need to walk away from my business and I really want to step into this and what's your advice? I didn't do that. I didn't ask my dad, and he was the guarantor on the lease on my salon, which I couldn't get out of. And he went mad. He was gutted because he thought I was just gonna fuck the salon off and lose everything. And it would be ultimately on his head because he's on the lease. He still is to this day. I'm still locked in that lease now. But luckily, it's all worked out. Is it luck though? Or have I created it because I'm in frequency with it? But anyway, so I didn't ask anybody for any answers. I knew. I asked myself. I sat with myself. I didn't care about other people's views and opinions and, oh, what are they going to say on Instagram? I didn't. Even my students, right, I had 2 students who messaged me back. So what happened was, you know, when I banged my head at the start of this call, my head is banging here, honestly. What happened was, I sat in my garden, right, and refunded all those students their money back, yeah. And 2 of those students messaged me back and said, please, separate students, please, can I still do the course? And I'll pay extra. Like, if that's what it takes, I really need to do this course and I'll pay extra. That's what they said to me. And even in that moment, I still trusted that voice within. And I was just like, you can't do it. This isn't you anymore. And I trusted me over anybody else. when you go on this journey, girls, and you start listening, I'm going to read the comments in a minute as well, and you start listening to that voice within, it's a journey. It didn't happen for me overnight. It didn't. It was consistently, every single day, me getting to know me. Another thing that I done on my journey as well, which is why I'm so big on teaching it, and I'm so glad that I done it so that I can teach it to all of you not to do it. And I don't ever let any of you do it with me. And I've got a few one-to-ones on here as well, and I don't let one-to-ones do it with me either. So what I used to do is, when I used to do the work, I would invest in the mentors and the guides and the memberships and all of the things. And I would rely on them to tell me what I should be doing with my life. Even when they would give me advice, yeah. And my body would be a fuck no. My body would be like, this doesn't feel right, I don't like that. And I'd still take the advice. And this is why I teach us what I teach us, to be in the body instead of the mind, because the mind will say, well, you should listen to her because she knows. You should listen to her because she's this or she's that, and we put everybody above us. Listen to the God within. That's the only voice. And it's okay to ask for guidance. And it's okay to be guided. I'm very big on that. Like, I'm very big on having guidance from those who have walked the path that I'm walking, of course. I think it's a shortcut to your success. But I listen to me over you. I listen to me over me mum. I listen to me over my best friend. I listen to me over my husband. I listen to me over anybody. How have I got to that place in my life? By spending time with me, by getting to know me, by going inwards with me. It's a level of trust, and it's a journey, and it takes time, and it takes consistency, and it takes being really, really real, and it takes calling yourself out when you're not being real. Right, let me just read these comments, because I flip-flop. I do two people, one full of ideas, then when I start the idea, a voice asks me who the fuck I think I am, doing this when I'm skint and not an example. Yes, I do, babes. If you don't know how to find it, I'll get it. Yeah, right, I know. I have a lot of people. I've just signed up a one-to-one client last week. We had our first call, and she said the same. She's got all of these ideas and she doesn't know where to start. And this is just because you're not focused. So when it comes to all of those ideas, it's because you're not locked in. You're not grounded. See, energy's everywhere, and that's never going to work. Like, look at me and my business and my offerings. I don't offer much. I offer a group program, a high ticket group program, which I'm going to speak to you about at the end, actually. Someone remind me of that. I've just launched it now. So that's a group program, yeah, which is high ticket. Then I offer one-to-one, which is also high ticket. And then I offer a membership, which is low ticket. That's it. I'm not like, well, if you want to do this and you want to do that, and no, because my energy is super focused. I'm locked in with those 3 containers. And then when I get an idea, I'll put it to one side. And this is why you should have a dream journal, a journal where you journal every day. Like, I'm always in the notes app on my phone. When I'm in the shower, I'll get an idea and I'm like, oh, like, things that I'll be teaching in this 4-week container, the ideas have come through to me 6 months ago, but it wasn't time to move. So it's just about having that focused energy. Because when your energy is into everywhere, nothing gets done. It's that quality over quantity as well. So your thing is, Kim, and it keeps coming up for you every session, your thing is stillness. You need to start grounding deeper. and creating that space and time in the nothingness. And I know that it's boring. Everyone's like, I hate being bored. That is why I am where I am, because I get bored. I schedule in my diary nothingness, but I have nothing to do. And then I don't procrastinate, being like, well, I've got nothing to do today. Oh, do you know what? I'm going to deep clean the house. I'm going to sort Keegan's bedroom out. Oh, I'm going to take my car and get it sorted at the garage. No. I let myself be in the nothingness. And I'll just sit in a field, doing nothing. And then I'm locked in. And then the divine's like, oh, she's open. Here we go. That's how it works. It's accessing that God within. But you've got to come out of all this. You've got to come out of the noise. Because you're never going to hear yourself. You're never going to be able to access it. And then what you've written there, who the fuck do I think I am when I'm skin and not an example? That's why you're the example. That's why he's using you. Because you're skin and you haven't got a clue what you're doing. And you're a single mum. And you're in the struggle. And you're trying to figure things out. And yet you're still showing up. And yet you're still out here going after it. You're still doing what the 1% of people do, which is the work. So there's women who are in the actual struggle, the same as you. But they're not doing the work. And they don't even see a way out. They don't know how. They think that that's how their life is supposed to be. They think that that's them forever. And guess what? Until they do the work and they realise the way out, that is them forever. And at 60, 70 years of age, they'll still be telling that story. How they stayed in the same job for 30 years. How they stayed in the same marriage for 40 years. How they've lived such an unhappy life. How they've always struggled with money, and they'll take that shit to the grave. They'll pass that shit down to the children. You're not like everybody else. Stop trying to be. You're doing the work to create a better life for you and your children. And then you're going to show the others the way. And that's why you're in this stage now where you're in the learning stage, so that you can teach. If you're not willing to learn, you can't teach. That's what I believe. It might not be true, but that's my belief. You've got to be the student in order to be the teacher. And that's what you're doing. You're just learning. You're figuring things out as you go along. And then when God sends you his people who need to learn the lessons that you've learned, you're going to be like, come here you, I know what I'm doing. And you're going to be so confident. That's why I believe people who teach what they've learned, they teach from wisdom instead of books and podcasts and blah, 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 blah. They don't ever have imposter syndrome. Have you noticed that? Like, if you follow people who are self-made, they always state that they don't struggle with imposter syndrome because they teach from a place of knowing. I know what I'm teaching is going to work because it's worked for me. I've walked it. I've done this. And how different is that frequency then? I'm teaching you this because I've been to university and I've learned it. And I've read this book and I've had this mentor. So you're living the work that you're going to teach. That's beautiful. Stay in it. Lock in. Keep doing what you're doing. I think that you put yourself down too much, you. Right, Ash. But I'm not finding the headspace to put the work in. I don't know if I'm overthinking it, but I feel it's so much work on top of all the work. I want the time and quiet to do it, but I feel incapable of finding it. It might be my overactive ADHD brain, but I'm struggling. Yeah. All I do is outsource the answers. Yeah. So, for me, it comes down to, what do you value? That's a question that I ask my one-to-ones when they sign up with me. And they say that they can't do the work and they can't meditate and they can't pray. What do you value? So, how much it means to you that you want that life and you want to hit the next level in your business and you want to create that life where you are fully connected to you and you trust you and you really can access those answers within. Well, if that's a value for you, you will create that space and time. So with those 24 hours in the day that you have, you would figure out a routine where you can call that in, where you can bring that in, where you can be in that. So, like, your morning routine is the perfect place to start. And I'm not saying to yous to do hours like I do. Because I didn't start by doing hours. I started by doing 5 minutes. Don't forget that. Like, I didn't start this journey with hours of breath work and meditation. And no. I started with 5 minutes. And then I've built my way up. And I've built that level of trust with me. And then I started building momentum. Because then it started working. And then I was like, oh shit, this is actually working for me. And then it got addictive. And then it became life-changing. And now it is my life. And if you would have said to me 6 years ago, Catherine, you're going to be able to meditate for hours and you're gonna have a meditation room with an altar in where you can just stay there all day. Doing nothing, doing just breath work, meditation. Like, sometimes I can be in meditation. I'll be like, it's just a 20-minute meditation, I'll do that. And then I'll be there for like 3 hours. But if you would have said that to me 6 years ago, I'd be like, as if I can't sit still. I cannot switch off. I cannot read a book. I cannot listen to a conversation. I'm not present. I just can't do it. It's not for me. It's not the life that I'm here to lead. I'm go. I'm constantly doing. There's no way I would ever be in the nothingness. No way. There's just no way. Like, even when Keegan used to stay out, he used to stay at his nan's every Thursday. So I'd be child free. Even on those times that he'd stay out, I would have a plan of shit to do. Even though I could have just chilled, I could have put a nice movie on, I could have just been with... No. I would have, like, a schedule of, like, I'd have friends round. If I was in a relationship, I'd be seeing him. Like, I was constantly doing. I had to train myself. I had to teach myself. It became a value. So when you think of the life that you want, and you think of who you are and how you live, but who you want to be and how you want to live, you need to feel into the identity of that version of you. So it's like 6 years ago me, who was constantly busy. I worked 7 days a week, right? I proper worked hard when I started that business, you know. Like, I started the business in lockdown. Oh, why has that just done that? I started the business in lockdown, and we was in lockdown, so you were not allowed out your house, yeah. And I used to drive, right, to everyone's house, because the police kept coming to mine, because people was ringing the police on me on because I was proper cheeky, you know. I just posted on Facebook. I wasn't... Do you know what, right? At this point, I lived at my mum's house, right, in this tiny box room, shared a single bed with my 10-year-old son. Like, 10 years of age, he's not a big lad, but do you know what I mean? It's like sleeping with an adult in a single bed. We had our stuff in plastic B&M boxes. Me and my mum hated each other, like, couldn't bear each other, couldn't live together. It was awful. And I'm like, I've just qualified in this business. I've just got this qualification. And then lockdown come 3 weeks later. There was no way that I wasn't going ahead with that business just because the government said so. So I just kept showing up. And I kept posting on Facebook. I'm like, oh, these lips that I done today. I didn't say when... I mean, no. I didn't say I'd done them today. I'd write, loved these lips, because I used to inject lips, and I didn't write the date or anything. And then I'd get every aesthetics practitioner in the area, probably every one of them, fuming, and the police was at my door every day. But obviously I wasn't having people in my house. I was going out and doing it. So, I sound like a drug dealer or something here. So, injecting lips and Botox. Bloody hell. So, I would drive house to house. Didn't care where it was. Didn't care about the address. Anything. I would drive to everybody's house. I'd pick my son up. Drop him off at someone else's house because family was just helping out minding him. And I'd be out from the morning till the night. Like 7 days a week. And that is how I lived my life. And I never complained once. I never even heard of meditation, probably heard of it, but thought you was a gimp if you done it. Didn't meditate, didn't do breath work. Talked to me about crystals and all angel cards and all that. I'd be like, ugh, it used to give me the ick. Still gives me the ick now, to be honest, a little bit, but that's another session. All of that, all of the stillness, all of the nothingness, all of the nice spiritual music, all of the feminine was the opposite of who I was. I was living up here. I created a life up here. I was never in here, ever. I never slowed down, I never sat back, I never listened to my intuition. Never listened to me, I listened to everybody else. That's why I was in relationships with those types of men. It's why I was in those types of friendship groups. It was why I was around those types of people. It's why I was that type of person, because I was so disconnected from me. So I created a life from the mind space instead of the heart space. And I was so disconnected. But I had to do that. That was a part of my journey. And then I got us out of that life, which is why I had to do that. I had to be in. Like, do you know that saying where it's like, don't judge people by the choices that they make because you don't know the choices that they had or where they started? Well, that's how I feel about like the way that I had to be in my masculine and I had to be in my mind, because I didn't have a choice but to get us out of that life. It wasn't a choice. There wasn't a plan B. There wasn't let's just wait and see and figure it out. No, I needed to get out of that life. I couldn't bring my son up like that. I needed to do it. So I did. And then what happened was, once I had the life that I thought I wanted, that is when I got called. And it was like, yeah, you're not staying here for long, love. You've got yourself out of that situation. Now the real work begins. Now it's go time. Now I'm really going to use you. And then that's when I started to slow it down. That's when all that happened with me boobs in Turkey, and I nearly died, and I'm in the hospital bed, and I'm like, oh my God, like I just want to go to work. That's all I wanted. I just wanted to go to work, and I couldn't because I nearly died. Anyone who doesn't know that story, I'll tell it another time. Basically, I had surgery, nearly died, and that was God saying to me, right, I need to take it out of this life now. You can't stay here. And then I got into meditation. Then I started listening to podcasts around being in your feminine, and then I was like, what is this? And I started to get curious, and it started to intrigue me. And then once I started to listen to that voice, I was like, oh, I think I like this. And then I just worked with myself. I just worked with that part of myself. That's when I started the shadow work, the inner child work. And this is what I mean. It's a journey. You're on a journey. And there's no right and wrong. That's how I live my life. I'm like, there's no right or wrong, because who's saying that? It's just ego. You're doing what you're supposed to be doing. You are where you're supposed to be. Me building that business, completely disconnecting from myself, is what I had to do to get to where I needed to be. And then now I have the honour, which I'm so grateful for, that I can teach all of you from my mistakes, so that none of you do that, and none of you build a life from your mind. It's not the way, it's not what we're here for. Right, let me read the comments. Babes, I have raging ADHD medication, not that you would know. I have only just managed to grasp my morning routine. It will come. Oh, she's answering you. Yeah. She is an absolute lunatic, and she is so much calmer. She's worked with me for a year now though. But she is calmer. I mean, she's not that calm, but she is a little bit calmer. That's intense, 7 days a week. Yeah, I know. Like now, I don't even work 7 hours in the whole week. In the whole week, in 7 days, you will not find me working more than 7 hours. But see, this is the thing that gets me, because like this now is work. So this is an hour every Sunday, and then an hour with me one-to-one clients, blah, blah, blah. But then my life is work. So like if we swapped lives, a lot of yous wouldn't cope. A lot of yous wouldn't cope with what I do outside of the work. So really I see it as actually I work 24 hours. Because I'm constantly living a life that reflects the work. Do you know what I mean? So you could call my morning routine, which is like 3-4, can go on to 5 hours some days. You could call that my work. Because I wouldn't be able to do the hour call without that work. It's like what I said to you at the start, that I went out in nature and I was there for a few hours. Well, that was all in preparation for this call. Right, Ash, I'm overthinking it. I see now that I think I need to do hours and hours to start. Yeah, so that I could even think of getting anywhere close to where you are, and it's the other way around. I can feel the addiction to it will come. Yes, oh my god, absolutely. Like, it's not overnight. You've got to build it up. You've got to build it up with you, and it's the consistency of it. It's the same with the gym. Like, you don't just go to the gym once or twice or 3 times or 4 times or even just 1 month and then get your dream body. And you just get your results. You're like, right, I want to lose this amount of weight. I want to look like this. No. And you've got your vision. And you're like, right, I'm going to go to this 1 hour gym session. It's a journey. It's consistency. The more that you go, the more that you track your food, the more that you eat healthy, the more that the results show. And then that shit gets addictive. There's the momentum then. Oh shit, the scales are going down. Wow, that top, I've not worn that in years and it fits me for the first time. Then you start liking it. You start liking the new identity. So then you lock in even more. Then you're out for a family meal and your friends are like, oh, just have one. Oh, go on, just get the dessert. And then you're like, this new identity of the woman who goes to the gym and she eats healthy and she feels good when she tries those clothes on. She doesn't drink alcohol, she doesn't have the extra dessert, she doesn't have the extra food, whatever the situation is. It's all about the identity locking in with her. But it's the consistency of it. And it's the same with your meditation, it's the same with your spiritual practices, it's the same with everything in life. It's the consistency of showing up. Because what we do is, we depend on this thing called motivation. And we're all motivated and we're like, yeah, I'm in. I'm locking in and I'm doing this summer and this is how it is, until life gets in the way. Until something happens. Or until you're just not motivated. I can't be arsed. And then you start listening to your feelings and your procrastination and your excuses over what actually matters, over what you know you need to do to get those results that you're saying that you want. When I say only just I'm on day 7, that's serious. Ain't it mad that we all say ADHD as well? What do you do over the 3 hours? Is it meditation and journal? So, for me, my morning routine is, above anything, stillness and just silence. But that's only been about, probably about 2 years. That's been. I have had every routine that you can think of. Like, I think back to 3 years ago, right, when I was in a relationship with someone. And I used to have this 5 a.m. morning routine. You've probably seen me talk about it. So 5 a.m. and it was, I would never do this, but to be fair, if I was somebody, and bearing in mind, we all go through different seasons of our lives, but if I was somebody who needed to lock in and needed to get out of a situation and need to really focus and show up, I would go back to this routine. I would. So 5 a.m, so you get up, you'd have your morning meditation, you'd have your morning movement and your breath work, and then straight away into an ice bath. So I've got ice baths in my garden. So I'd get the ice bath, I'd go for a run, I'd be in the gym lifting weights. What else would I do? Listen to a podcast, that was one. Read a book, read pages of a book. And all of this had to be done before 7 a.m. So 5 till 7, because he started work at 7:15. So in those 2 hours time, we would just be doing, in. that's my worst nightmare now. I would never, like, I'm just not in a place in my life where I need to be doing that, but I just don't think I could go back to that. So now I don't have an alarm. I let my body wake up naturally. When I say naturally, I don't know whether I'm lying, because my son gets up. You would laugh your heads off if any of you is in my house in the morning. My son gets up right at 7:10, and straight away he puts his music on. So I kind of like, I'm at about 7:00, my body wakes up, but I'm still laying in bed, and then I hear Drake, and then I'm like, get the fuck up now, because I can't stand it. So he's listening to all these rap music about fucking pussy and all this stuff. Like, I'm like, God, please forgive him. And I'm there with, like, all my mantra music on and stuff. It's hilarious. I'd love a cameraman to, like, video the two contrasts in my house in the morning. So then straight away I'm out of the house. I'm on a walk with the dog. Like, Keegan's doing his thing upstairs. So I'll go out in nature with the dog. I'll have my headphones on. Sometimes it depends, I'll check in. I'm like, do I want to do a silent walk today? Do I want to do a podcast? Do I want to do mantra? Do I want to do music? Like, I'll just check in with what feels good for me. I'll make sure to, I live in Widnes, like, we never have sun, but lately it has been sunny, so I'll try and get some sun on my face, feet on the grass, and then by the time I get back, he should be done with the bathroom and stuff, and back in his bedroom, so I can't hear the music. And then I'll be straight into my meditation room, sort the dog out, blah blah blah, straight into my meditation room, and I will just be in silence. That's it. I don't have music anymore. I used to do guided stuff. I used to always do, like, who I always tell yous about on YouTube, or like background music and stuff like that. And for the last, like, probably 2 years, I'd say, I just really enjoy silence. And a question that I ask myself every single day, but several times a day as well, is, what does my inner guidance need me to know? That's the one question that I ask, and then I just sit with myself and I just let the thoughts. I'm the watcher of the thoughts. I'm the thinker of the thoughts. Do you understand what I mean? And I'm just like, I'm very curious. I'm like, oh, that's interesting that you think like that. Oh, she's just come up for you. And then my dream might come up. Sometimes I'll wake up in the morning, I can't remember what I've dreamt. And then when I go in my meditation room and I do my stillness and my silence, things will come up. And I'm like, oh, there's a message there. So I'll let myself sit with myself in that. And every day is different. So say if I start getting emotional about something and I need a good cry, then I'll get my playlist on. And I have probably about 30 playlists, and every one is a different mood. So I'll feel into the music, because the music is where everything's at for me. And then, yeah, I'll just be led. I'm just led by what I want to do. So every morning can be so different, but it's always the same, if that makes sense. So there's always stillness, silence, meditation, breath work, journaling, reading. But it just depends where it goes. Sometimes it can be an hour, sometimes it can be all day. So say if I've got a call at 2:00 in the afternoon with a client, 9 times out of 10, I'll be in that meditation room until that call. And then I'll go out in nature and have the call. So it just depends. But what I teach yous in the session around morning routine, that's the gist of it. Right, what you literally sit there for 3 hours and do nothing. How do you stop? Go into your mind doing that, feel into your body, etc. I'm missing something, I'm overthinking it all for sure. Yeah, so I started with 5 minutes. And now I can sit there for hours with myself. And it feels like 5 minutes. I'm also big on writing. I'm also really big on journaling. That's where the magic happens. Because you get everything out of here onto there. I'm very big on scripting as well, which means I script with my left hand as well. So I'm right-handed, but when I script, I left-hand it. So I'll come out of meditation and then I'll ask the question, what does my inner guidance need me to know? So say if when you think about what I do for a living, right, the responsibility that I have. So I have one-to-one clients. I don't just have a one-to-one client. I have her children. I have her marriage. I have her relationship with her parents. All of it is on me. That's how I see my clients. Because the advice and the guidance that I'm giving to her is going to affect her whole family. So if she's blocked and she's stuck and she's asked me a question or she's going through something, I need to make sure that I'm fully being used for the advice that I'm giving to her. That's what I do for a living. Like, imagine if I didn't have a morning routine. If I was just chaotic, if I was just always dead busy, I was always doing something, and then I've got to give my client advice on something. Imagine giving her the wrong advice. Imagine leading her off track. Imagine it not being from God. And then it fucks her life up, or her marriage, or her relationship with her children. So with scripting, I will meditate and I'll come out and I'll just get my journal, so you're not back in the mind. You just get your journal, you get your pen, and I'll just write. And I will focus the writing around anything that I've got going on in my life. Which is always my clients, because I haven't really got anything going on as of right now. Like, I'm not in a relationship, I'm in a good place with my son. Like, I've had some family stuff going on actually the last few months, so I've been doing work around that. But 9 times out of 10, it's always about my clients. Because, like, they do become my life, which I absolutely love. I've tried it all, but I don't want to shock my nervous system anymore, so I stopped the cold water. Yeah, it's very intensive weight training, all made me inflamed and even more dysregulated, I found. I actually agree. And this is why, like, instead of listening to these gurus on Instagram and these fitness people and these, like, PTs and stuff on, right, you need to do this, you need to do that. No, I need to listen to me. So if you're doing intensive weight training and you know that it's dysregulating your nervous system, you're getting anxious, you don't feel good doing it. I mean, you're never going to feel good doing it, because the design of it is to push it so that you feel uncomfortable. But if you don't feel amazing after it, then you know that it's not for you. So go to a nice yoga class. Like, listen to your body over the PT. And as for cold water therapy, cold water and nature combined healed my anxiety. Like, I swear by that. And when I went through stages on my journey where it would creep back in, so when I was in that relationship 3 years ago, it would try and creep back in now and again. Now I realise it was because he had very severe anxiety, and obviously we were sleeping together. So that's why it would only come back when he'd been round. And at the time, because I didn't listen to my own body and I wasn't like, I just wasn't listening. I just thought, oh my God, isn't it mad that I get that when he's around I get bad anxiety? Well, yeah, because, like, you know, he's been inside my body. So cold water used to help with that massively. That's why I bought one. So I don't really do it now. But again, it's what works for you. Do you recommend any Being in the Feminine podcast to listen to? Do you recommend any Being in the Feminine? Yeah, of course I do. And I've got a really good book as well, Ash, that I'll put it in the group chat for you. I'll feel into that, Ash. Let me feel into a good feminine podcast to listen to. Let me feel into that. But I've got some good playlists on YouTube that I'll put in the chat for us. That's hysterical, Drake singing Pussy Singing along. No, honestly, the music that he plays, I'm like, oh my God, I'm like, I'm in my bedroom, oh, please forgive him, he doesn't know. Like, the music is shocking. I don't listen to it, so now when it comes on, I'm like, wow, is this the music that they listen to these days? How funny. So, yes, girls, just before I love yous and leave yous, I have just opened the enrolment to my 4-week container. If anybody's interested in going even deeper with the journey, it's going to be more around it's not going to be like all the inner child healing and all of that. I'm completely separating from all of that, and it's really about the money mindset. It's about really tapping into the energy and it's about seeing money as a spiritual idea, and that's what I want to teach us. So it's more money and success based. If you've not got a business, you wouldn't be able to do it, but it's basically working with your business to go the next level, but in your feminine energy. So not the hustle and the grind, and like it's all the energetics of the money, working with universal law and all of that. So if anybody's interested, reach out to me and I'll give you more details, or you can just click the link in my bio on Instagram. But has anybody got any questions about tonight's session? Has anybody got any other questions? I liked those questions that you've asked, girls. But I also think it's important to just remind us, like, that I didn't start, like what Ash said there, where she's overwhelming herself because she's like, I need to be this and I need to be that. I didn't start there. I just started with the small stuff, and then it built and it built and it built. But don't forget, girls, like, you know, if I had my salon and my training academy now, I wouldn't be having a 3-hour routine. I'd just have a 60-minute routine and then I'd go to work. I have those 3, 4, 5 hours because that is my work. So it's the life that I've created. So this is also another thing, like, don't copy other people. Don't try and be like them. Don't try and make what they're doing work for you. No, you check in. So take the guidance, take the ideas, be like, oh, I like the sound of that, but then make it work for you in your life and what you're doing. Another thing is, although I'm a mum, my son's 16 years of age. So I don't have to get up in the morning and do the packed lunches and make the breakfast and then brush his teeth and get the uniform. Do you know what I mean? Where a lot of yous do. So it's about making your life work for you. What feels good to you, what gets you excited, what makes you want to get out of the bed in the morning, what makes you excited for life. Because if you was to live like me, you would hate it. I know it. I know for a fact, so many of you, if you don't one day in my life, you'd be like, oh my God, this is awful. Like, absolutely awful. You would hate it. Be like, oh my God, this is the most boring life ever. But I love it. That's how I just love being boring and nothingness and just, yeah. But it wasn't always that way. Like, I actually like the feeling of, I don't know whether this is true and I might change my mind on it, but I like the feeling of, like, the chaos leading to the peace. Like, needing the chaos to have the peace. I think that we do need to do that, because I was in a lot of chaos and now I'm in a lot of peace. And I don't ever see my life being back in the chaos, because I'm very different now. That has helped me so much, you explaining that. Thank you so much. Love you millions. Love you, my darling. So what I'm going to do, girls, I'm going to put some bits and bobs in the chat for yous in terms of podcasts and book recommend. Does anybody read a book in here? Or do you prefer podcasts? I do have both. But
yeah, I do get both.
Say it again, babe.
I do a bit both. Sometimes I do like the book.
Yeah, so a bit of both, right? I'll put both in. So I have a podcast. Audible and podcast both. Yeah, I'll put both in then. I'll just feel into what I feel into what comes through. But the message for this session is to start checking in with you, start listening to you. That's the best advice that I can give anybody. if you're stuck in your life, if you don't know what to do with your business, if you don't know what to do with your relationship, if you don't know what to do with that friendship group, like absolutely everything, go within. Be in your solitude, be in your silence, be in your stillness, like listen to you.